All right, so we have some Spider-Man news from Insomniac that, to be honest, I'm shocked by. I never, in my bingo sheet for Spider-Man 2 news, would have ever pictured this being one of the things that we were going to cover. But recently, somehow, a trailer for a canceled online multiplayer Spider-Man game has leaked, and this is a little bit different than the leaks before. There's nothing malicious about this one. This is a canceled game that's never going to see the light of day, where someone just posted the trailer that has real voice acting, totally finished visuals, like 99% finished, and it genuinely looks like a game that was in its last stages of development, and it looks really interesting. And so I'm going to read you guys an article from IGN kind of covering this and then talk about, so let's dive into this footage. So the article says, leaked trailer footage from the Spider-Man The Great Web is spreading across social media, part of the massive Insomniac breach that roiled the studio back in December. IGN won't be linking to the footage in question. The trailer shows a multiplayer version of Insomniac's Spider-Man game with Miles Morales and Gwen Stacy, aka Spider-Gwen, among the playable characters battling the Sinister Six. It looks to have been a 5-player multiplayer game built in with a live service foundation similar to Naughty Dog's canceled The Last of Us. The multiverse appears to be the main concept, and it includes character customization. Spider-Man The Great Web was never formally announced, and the trailer seems to be essentially a concept trailer intended for internal use. Its quiet cancellation comes amid a broader shift by Sony away from the live service games, despite the breakout success of Helldivers 2, which has been one of 2024's early success stories. Ultimately, it's unclear why Insomniac decided to cancel The Great Web. However, its leaked roadmap for the next several years points to numerous planned projects, including several Marvel games. In its own statement explaining the cancellation of The Last of Us Online, Naughty Dog framed the decision as a choice between prioritizing legacy of single-player narrative games and live service games, which require a tremendous amount of resources to support over the long haul, end quote. And so Insomniac had a live service Spider-Man game that we knew kind of about The Last of Us Online, that they had announced that, and that Sony was really pushing for these live service games from all of their developers. And I guess Insomniac was no different. And with the changing of heads of the CEO of PlayStation, we've seen a lot of these games dropped, and this appears to be one of them. And to be honest, upon initial viewing, it makes me really sad. I think when they announced Spider-Man 2, a lot of us really wanted a multiplayer aspect, that we imagined how cool would it be to be playing as Spider-Man and then to be able to have your friend jump into the game playing as Miles Morales or Peter alongside you, and how much fun that could be. And then we found out that they were even going and considering putting that in the game, and then they dropped it. And then to hear about this, it makes sense why they dropped it, because they went, oh, we can go even bigger. Sony wants us to make a live service game. Let's make a Spider-Man live service game that delves into the multiplayer, which then gives you like, oh, so that's why they had the little spider bots from different universes in the Spider-Man 2 game, as it was teasing the DLC that would have been this Great Web multiplayer, where you have all these multiverse Spider-Man entering into the world to fight the Sinister Six. And it's a really cool concept that could have been really great. But I think, to be honest, Insomniac made the right decision, even though they were in late stage of development, just like I believe Naughty Dog made the right decision, that these two companies are great at making single-player experiences. And in order to create this game, they would have had to have pooled so many resources into it. And I actually think that that's why the budget for Spider-Man 2 seems so blown out of proportion. Like, how did this game cost this much? It's probably because of this feature and how much time they spent developing the Great Web before they trashed it. And the thing is, a online live service multiplayer game, it doesn't just require users to play it for like 30 hours or 60 hours. It requires them to play it for hundreds and hundreds of hours in order for it to be seen as successful. And just upon the surface of looking at it, I could see me pouring time into this and really enjoying it, but I couldn't see me pouring in hundreds and hundreds of hours into it. But it's a really interesting concept, and it's really interesting to see. And so I don't know. I'm kind of kind of sad that we're not going to see this. I think it's a really cool idea, and it could have played off of the Multiverse movies and off of the success of Spider-Man 2. But at the same time, I am glad that Insomniac is pouring their time into really great single-player games. I would much rather have that than them pouring tons of resources into online service games, just like I would way rather have Naughty Dog pouring all of their time and energy into single-player great campaign games versus an online service game. And so I feel like they made the right decision. But it's interesting to look at this footage and think, man, what if? Like, I gotta be honest, part of me is like, man, this is really cool. This could have been a fun game. It makes me want to see footage of The Last of Us online. I hope that one day they show us what that game was going to look like, even just to honor the devs who worked on it. They probably never will, because then people would want it and they don't want to kind of distract. But in seeing this, I'm like, man, what did The Last of Us online look like? Because that could have been really interesting, and they were apparently trying some groundbreaking ideas with it. Just makes me really curious. But I want to know what you guys think. And seeing this footage, do you wish that this game had released? Would you have played it? Do you think it could have been successful, or do you think it would have been another dud like Suicide Squad? Let me know in the comment section down below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that junk. Let's have a conversation about it, and I will see you guys in the next one.